Oh, Saturday sun, I met someone. A Miraculous Ladybug, Adrienette High School Alternate Universe Fanfiction, Chapter 10. Mom, I'll be heading out pretty soon, Marinette calls into the living room. Her mom stops her cleaning and turns around, a sly grin appearing on her face. Marinette all but rolls her eyes, knowing exactly where this conversation is headed. Adrienne is coming to pick you up, her mom says with a laugh. Yeah, up front, Marinette explains. She's blushing and she knows her mom can see it and is just choosing not to comment on it. Not quite sure when I'll get home though, so don't wait on me for dinner and I'll text you before I head back, she says. And it'll just be the two of you, Sabine quirks an eyebrow up. Yeah, Marinette sighs, even though she's not actually annoyed. We're shopping for the winter gift exchange. I got Kim as my giftee and he has, I think, Milan, she explains. Well then, Sabine says with a smile. Have fun. Marinette smiles back and ducks back into her room, fussing and frilling over her appearance. Sabine only laughs, still able to hear the shouts and conversation between her daughter and her best friends. She remembers this feeling back when she and Tom were young. It brings her such joy to know that Marinette is also experiencing the same happiness she once did as a young teenager. And the mother knows this is a good boy and Marinette will be very happy for a long time. This is the first time it'll just be her and Adrienne hanging out in a long time, especially since he had opened up to her about his family. Marinette's a bit nervous, but she's surprising herself with how ready she feels. Not even 2-3 weeks ago, she would have been panicking and screaming out of her mind about what to wear, what she was going to say, what he was going to think of her, and just everything in general. But now she feels like it's just shopping with a friend. It is just shopping with a friend, and she's proud of herself for realizing that. Adrienne's not mean, she knows that, and he's certainly not judgmental. It's liberating to feel like even if she makes one wrong step, it's liberating not to feel like if she makes one wrong step, he'll laugh at her and begin to hate her. It's really just her overactive brain coming up with stuff like that, and she knows it. Adrienne's goofy and says silly things. It'd be hypocritical for him to judge her for things she says and does. Not that he judges her in the first place. The more she gets to know him, the happier she is that she's liking him, because it means she fell for the real Adrienne, not the one that she overglorified in her mind that turns out to be a terrible human being. Hey, I'm here. Marinette gulps before grabbing her bag and rushing out the door, saying goodbye to her mother and giving her a quick hug. Hi, Marinette says when she spots Adrienne waiting outside of his car. He looks up from his phone, smiling as bright as the sun is shining. You got here fast, she laughs. Adrienne shrugs and opens the passenger side door for her. Traffic isn't too bad on Sundays, he explains right before he shuts the door. Marinette can feel her heartbeat speed up. Adrienne is such a gentleman. She both expected it and didn't. She lets out a little girly squeal, one Alia would be sure to copy when she hears about everything tonight, when Marinette relays the day to her. Friday nights are the worst, though, he chuckles slowly, buckling in. Because everyone's out of the town? Exactly. Then we're being the special ones and doing stuff on a Sunday afternoon, she jokes. Adrienne laughs a bit, his eyes crinkling at the corner. Yeah, we certainly are. They drive in a comfortable silence. Adrienne had given Marinette the radio control, so she picked a lo-fi song, one that matched the easy drive they had. She looks out of the window, seeing as a few people walked the streets, and businesses were calm. Next to her, Adrienne is tapping the wheel to the beat of the song. On their way to the shopping mall, Marinette sees her old primary school. Normally, she takes the subway to the mall, so it's a view she doesn't see, but since she's on the road and she's hit with an insane wave of nostalgia. She laughs a little under her breath, remembering all of the little things from that school. That's where she met Nino, so many years ago. Back then, she was just as talkative, if not more. The memories flood in her mind, the graduation into college, her favorite art teacher telling her that she's bound for great things, her second grade homeroom teacher having a baby, meeting Nino for the first time. And the very first day of school, when she was so nervous she almost cried. There are so many things that she learned and did there that forged her into the person that she is now today. And now it's just a building, but a building with so many memories. Get caught off guard by our old school, huh? Adrienne says, sounding amused. She turns around quickly to see Adrienne watching her reminisce about her old primary school, while waiting for the light to turn green. His eye contact is intense, and a little His eye contact is intense, but not unexpected. And Marinette feels like she could shrink into a microscopic ball and he'd still be able to see her. Yeah, she admits, tucking her hair behind her ear. Every time I drive by it, I feel like it's my first day of school again. Yeah, she admits, tucking her hair back behind her ear. Every time I drive by it, I just think of my first day of school, Adrienne says with a smile. The light flickers into red and once again they're off. I was terrified, and my father asked the teachers not to announce my presence. I think he just wanted to take away the glory of having friends. It's hard to make them if no one realizes you're around. There's a sudden hit of what she assumes is bitterness. Her heart hurts for him, just a little bit more than it already did. Sometimes Marinette really wanted to go up to Adrienne's father and give him a piece of her mind. It seriously infuriated her. But one, she doesn't even know where he lives, so there's no plausible way she could do so without an immense level of stalking that would definitely not be okay. And two, Adrienne would probably not appreciate her yelling at his dad. But nonetheless, she's not happy with him. That's understandable, but hey, you ended up making friends anyways, so it didn't work, she said optimistically, totally blowing over the fact that she was one of the people that didn't realize that he was even there. That's true, Adrienne hums. The shopping mall isn't super busy, mainly because it's a Sunday and most people did their holiday exchanges prior to January. However, Marinette and her friends were busy people, and smart people who knew there'd be a bunch of sales after holiday season. It also meant a second chance at something that they wanted and didn't get during the Christmas season. Despite it seeming calm after the real winter frenzy, there was still a fair amount of people in the mall. This is such a strange sweater, Adrienne says, totally hypnotized by said sweater. Marinette watches him in amusement as his eyebrows furl together. It has some reversible sequin material on it, and he can't help but play with it in the moment that he spotted it. Never mind the fact it was out of their way and in the middle of a rack. It looks like it would have been very uncomfortable to wear, Marinette smiles, coming up behind his shoulder. It'll scratch you up, she says with a shake of her head. From experience, she knew that if you don't double layer the sequences, they will tear into your arms like claws. Why doesn't it say lights? Why does it say lights? It doesn't even have lights, Adrienne wonders aloud. Some other shoppers look at them with a perplexed expression that he doesn't even seem to notice. It should just say shiny. That would be even stranger, Marinette points out. But it would be accurate, he retorts. This is one of those moments that make Marinette remember why one of the first things Nino told her about Adrienne was that he was a strange person who said strange things. She now knows it's because he's a little more than clueless in life and entertained by the smallest things, hence this sweater with an apparently inaccurate label. She briefly wonders to herself why this is the boy her brain decides to fall for, and then she sees him smile and she remembers why. She reaches a hand out to grasp his upper arm, and Adrienne turns around towards her so fast, It's a miracle he didn't snap his neck. His eyes are wide and looking at her in what she reads as shock. She has to admit she's shocked at her own boldness too. Marinette 3 weeks ago could have started crying in this situation, just flat out sobbing. But then again, Marinette 3 weeks ago wasn't texting Adrien late into the night, so she ignored the flush that she knows is growing on her face, and feigns calm and collected confidence. Come on, let's go out and get our gifts, unless you want that to be it, she teases him. Her eyebrows raise in a mischievous way, and Adrien scrunches his face up in an adorable way and lets go of the sweater. She makes a mental note to give him grief about it. Gosh, if only Nino could see this. I do think Kim would appreciate it, Adrien points out. Marinette playfully rolls her eyes as she borderline drags Adrien away from the rack. You're certainly not wrong, but I'm not letting that be one of the gifts I give in my lifetime. She deadpans. Adrien bursts out laughing at that statement and once again draws attention to them. Hush, she tells him, biting back her own giggles. They go to many stores. Clothing stores, general niche ones, even a candy store. Marinette found Kim's gift in no time. She even got him some candy and a new pair of swim goggles and cap. Oftentimes at brunch, he'll talk about the latest cap that ripped or his goggles that went missing because of his perpetual displacement issues. So hopefully the swim gear will have a good use and he won't be too hyper off of the sugar. Adrien needed more of her help though, for his gift from Milan. Why don't you get her some hairbands? She wears them practically every day. That's a good idea. And maybe a stuffed animal? One of those with big glittery eyes? He says. They end up finding both items, and Adrien tosses in glitter nail polish as a little extra thing. He thoroughly charms the cashier, who looks about their age, and she can't help but feel a bit jealous. Truthfully, she understands the worker, but the little green monster that's called jealousy still crawls its way up her throat, and she sends a very harsh glare at the girl. Adrien, however, seems to not notice the little fit. It doesn't matter though, because he offers to get ice cream, and Marinette leaps into the air with joy, much to his amusement. Mint chocolate chip, please, Marinette orders, getting a medium cone. She rarely gets this ice cream shop, and it's one of her favorites. The first place Marinette and Alia hung out at back in college was here, and this ice cream always reminds her of one of the best and most important friends in her life. She still remembers meeting the brunette in their homeroom, and oh, if only their 13-year-old selves knew they'd still be thick as thieves now. 5.55, he says, and Marinette's about to give him 6, but Adrien thrusts his hand between the exchange. I've got it, he tells her in a quiet voice, and it takes all 10 seconds of the cashier rolling his eyes and taking the card presented in front of him and ringing it up for Marinette to actually realize what on earth just happened. Hey, she cries out. Internally, she's shouting because, oh my gosh, he's paying for her like a gentleman, but also screaming because she can literally do this herself. I work. I can pay for myself. Yeah, but I wanted to, Adrien admits with a shy smile. Well, that shuts her up. Marinette definitely meant to say more, but he looks so adorable right now, it makes her forget everything. Fine, but don't do that next time. He doesn't reply in an agreement or a promise. Rather, he perks up and finds a table, and oh, he knew what he just did there. Darn Adrien, using his little seal eyes against her. Medium mint and medium vanilla chocolate swirl for the couple, the cashier says in a bored tone as he brings the cones over. For a second, Marinette's brain stops working because when did they start dating? She looks at Adrien, who's equally confused for a moment, but he recovers sooner than she does to claim the tray with a thank you for the server. Marinette wants to jump in and explain that, hey, we aren't dating. But by the time her mouth works again, the cashier is already helping another customer. Huh. He doesn't look too, Adrienne says. He doesn't look too mad about the mix-up, so it has to be a good sign? Marinette distracts herself with the delicious ice cream, but secretly, she revels in the fact that someone could even think that they were dating.